another episode of Chat Zion, the city of cities when it comes to YouTube chat shows. Today I'm here with Josefa again. We're going to talk about the impact of media in our life and how it can change us.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back. It's good to be back here. I love coming here. Love giving and also listening to the question. Love the reviews that we're getting.
Yeah, I think last week we talked about Christian film and about how it's beginning to be a little bit more important, and it's starting to grow a little bit more with a mainstream audience. And so people sort of came up with the idea of, for a Christian, how do they relate to non-Christian films? And are they still okay for a Christian to go and watch all of these other superhero movies and action movies and things that are coming out from the mainstream media at the moment?
Like, I really think like some of these movies are great movies. Some of the movies that come up, I have really good moral value. Like, and some of the movie have real good messages. But like I've learned something in life. Like when you can go out and pick up the good stuff and get rid of all the bad stuff in it. Like, man, I watched Coach Carter. I watched Coach Carter when he came out, and when he came out, there was a few shooting scenes in that movie, and some people would say, oh, they're shooting in that movie, I won't allow my kids to go. But man, the movie is amazing. Like, I loved the message that the movie portrayed, and sometimes we can think, all right, should I watch it because of just the shooting part? I think if you pick out all the good stuff out of that movie, it is an amazing movie. Like, some of the movies that come out are just amazing, eh?
Yeah, I mean, you get movies and they come out now, with a parental recommendation.
Yeah.
This one's PG, so maybe don't watch it if you're less than this age group, or parents make a decision on whether you need to watch it, and it tells you what's going to be in it. And there's lots of websites and review systems that you can go and look at now, and it gives it ratings for violence and language and nudity or anything like that might be in any of these movies, what other messages might be in there. And you can go and you can make a really good informed decision about whether or not that's something that you want to witness. And it depends a lot on your personality and whether or not you're a really impressionable person. I know some people, whatever they see, they will do that, they will think about that for a long time afterwards. They can't see it and forget it. Some people are the complete opposite. Some people can watch a movie, walk out the door, and already have forgotten what happened. And so it's up to people to be able to find that point where they know what they can watch and what they can't watch. And then, like you said, be able to sit there and go, there's good things that I can still take from this movie, and I'm going to focus on the good things that I can take from it, and not the bad.
Yeah, like you mentioned, like there's even the Passion of the Christ. Like, I don't know, most people would say, no, I'm not going to allow my kids to watch the Passion of the Christ because of
it's R-rated.
Yeah, R-rated, because of the beating scenes, and but the message that the Passion of the Christ relays to the world is you can either look at, all right, I don't like the part where Jesus was being beaten, but I love the part that God died for the whole world, and there's two really conflicting thing there for parents. I mean, like for me, I just think if you get a movie like that, The Passion of the Christ, and sometimes we live in the real world, where it could be through media, it could be life experience. You're going to get exposed to things every now and then, things that will shock you for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's an unavoidable thing. It's a part of life. It's not the greatest part of life, but that doesn't mean that it's not a part still. And you've got to be mature enough, and you've got to have enough growth to be able to know that is going to be something that you're going to come across at some point. Whether it's every day, every week, every month, or whether it's once in a lifetime. At some point you're going to be exposed to something that you probably don't really need to be exposed to. But that doesn't mean that it's going to completely turn your life upside down. there are some movies out there, there is plenty of music out there that just has no good message in it. You know, there's nothing good that comes from it. You know, I've got heaps of mates who listen to music, and I cannot for the life of me understand why they listen to it, because it makes no sense to me. But that doesn't mean that it's, if I hear that song, you know, once on the radio because I'm in the car with them, that doesn't mean that my whole life's going to turn upside down and I'm going to start, you know, gangster rolling down the street and shooting people. You know, that's not a real thing. I'm a big enough, mature enough person to sit there and go, all right, that's just a song, and I don't really need to listen to it, and I can just not listen to it. You know, and movies are the same. You know, just because a movie's got, you know, Coach Carter's got some gang violence in it, or some, you know, there's a party scene when they do after their basketball game or whatever, that doesn't mean that that's what I have to do in my life. And it's just a point where you've got to be able to make that decision.
Yeah. And one of the things I realized is we shelter our kids to a, you know, okay, you're not going to watch this, you're not going to do this, because we love our kids.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it could be, when we do that, we don't expose them to the reality of life, and we give our kids a false, okay, everything's going to be okay. And then when they get exposed to life and the reality of life, when they grow up, hey, you've got to pay rent, you know, and then they realize, oh, you know, life is not like what mom and dad taught me, that everything was so good. And for me, someone like me that grew up in the islands, you do tough love. Yeah. So when you come out, and when you come out of being a kid to the reality of life, you're used to it because you've been trained how tough it's going to become. And my mom and dad used to train me tough, because they said, when you grow up, Joe, you're going to face the reality of life. I said, if you don't learn patience now, you're going to learn it then. And as much as I love my kids, and sometimes I will limit certain things that I will not push them to, because I love them, and there's a certain degree where I push them to learn some patience. Hey, you be patient. Because I realize this, if I can teach them now, it's setting them up for life. So when they grow up, when things become, when the food is not ready, when they go to a restaurant, they said, oh, no, I've been trained at home. Dad has always given, you know.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's preparation, isn't it? You've got to be prepared for what life is going to throw at you. Yeah. Because it's going to throw something at you at some point. Yeah. You know, people get sick. Yeah. People do bad things to other people. Yeah. You know, that's the reality of the world that we live in. And if you've grown up in such a sheltered life, where you've never been exposed to any of that, you know, you don't understand what's happening, and you're not ready for it when it does happen. Yeah. You know, and then that's when you get people who freak out about things and break down, and their life completely can crumble in days and weeks and months because something's hit them, and something's hit them hard that they weren't ready for. Yeah. They didn't know that was even something that could happen, let alone that it might have happened or that it will happen to them. You know, and you've got to be able to decide for yourself. Yeah. You know, when you're an adult, you can make your own decisions about whether or not that's something that you should do, that's something you should listen to, that's something you should watch. Yeah. You know, when you're a kid, that's what your parents are there for. They're there to be able to sit there and go, you know what, this is something that you can watch in a few years, or this is something that you shouldn't watch at all. Yeah. You know, Passion of the Christ, like you said, it's got great messages throughout it, but it's a brutal movie. You know, I'm not going to go and play that for a 6-year-old to watch because they're going to freak out. You know, but someone who's older can handle that. You know, and it's part of preparing all the parts of your body. You know, we got body, mind, and spirit within us as Christ made human beings. That's what we are, and the body, our physical body, has got a natural tendency to go towards some things that might not exactly be the most pure or the most perfect ways to do things. But you've got to have enough determination, enough physical awareness, enough spiritual awareness of yourself, and enough consciousness of your mind to sit there and go, you know what, I've watched 15 minutes of this movie and it's just troll. I'm getting nothing from it, no good's coming from it, and it's just a waste of my time, and it's not doing anything for me. And hit the pause button. You know, it's not hard to click.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember growing up, mum and dad, and when we watched the movie, and a scene that came there that was not relevant to my age.
Yeah.
Said everybody close your eyes. So everybody's there at a young age. All my brothers and sisters used to close their eyes and said, "Hey, close your eyes."
I've got a wife at home, and we'll be watching a movie, and it'll come to something, and she'll fast forward through it, or she'll say, "All right, look away." And this, you know, I'm 27 years old, and she's 23, and we will skip through a little bit of a story. You know, if it doesn't make any impact on the story, it's just there for no real reason, just as a selling point so that someone will watch it. You don't have to watch it. I mean, you can pick and choose your battles within a movie itself, even. But you know, it's whether or not you want to be opening up yourselves to whatever it is that's there. And like we said at the start, you know, how impressionable are you? You know, if you watch a movie that's a violent movie, are you going to go to bed that night and have horrid nightmares about it? You know, for me, not impressionable at all. I could watch a movie where 1,000 people all die in a freak car accident or something, and I'll go to bed and I'll dream about kicking the winning goal after the siren of the football match, because that's what I'll do every time. Maybe that's just because I've watched too many football matches, but hey, I'll still watch more, don't worry.
You know what you were saying, that, and there's a Bible verse to this, that everything is good but not permissible.
Yeah.
So there's something that's good for you and not good for someone else. Like watching a movie is good, but is it good? It'll be good for you, but like a certain movie will be good for you, but is it good for a 6-year-old or 7-year-old? And I like that, because when the Bible says that everything is good, but are they permissible? There's something that is good for you, but not good for someone else. And I love that. And
you've got to take it the same as you take anything else. People have got different tastes, people have got different things, you know. Some people will eat only organic food because they don't want to put that bad stuff in their body. You know, some people won't drink soft drink because they don't want to put that. They won't, you know, eat sugary stuff and things because they don't want to put that into their body. And it's the same with these movies, these songs, these TV shows. You know, you've got to decide for yourself what you want to put into your body. You know, because that's going to feed your mind and your spirit, just like what you eat and drink is feeding your physical human body. And you've got to sit there and go, you know what, I can eat a Mars bar, but I don't want to eat 20 of them. You know, I can have a little bit of this and balance it out with everything else. I can take the good stuff from it and focus on taking the good stuff from it and not just filling my life with junk, you know. I think that's a big thing, you know.
definitely.
You've got to be able to decide for yourself, or have that decision made about what you want, what is good for you, and as a parent, like you are, what's good for your kids.
That's it.
I think the best way to go about it is to decide early on the way that you want to do it. You know, as a parent, the last thing you want to be doing is changing your mind every time your kid comes and asks you whether you can do that, because then you open yourself up to, oh, but I used to do that.
Yeah.
You let me watch that movie, why can't I watch this one? You let me watch this TV show, why can't I watch this one? Because then the kids are in charge, and then we're all in trouble.
That's it.
But you know, I think overall, it's about that awareness of self and being able to decide what you want to do. I'm going to see Star Wars tonight. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yes.
And I think it's going to improve my life because I'm going to love it. And I don't think it's going to make me run around slashing people with lightsabers in the street. You know, that's where I'm sitting. Well, Josefa, that's all we've got time for here on this episode of Chat Zion. So for all of our fans out there, subscribe to us, Chat Zion on YouTube.
Yes.
Send us some messages, send us mail with anything that you want us to talk about in our next things. chatzionmail@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you and get back to you later. See you next time.
See ya.